Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together, one frame at a time. Hey guys, I'm Randy Younger, and this is another episode of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together, one frame at a time. And with me, again, I have a lovely man, a lovely guest critic tonight, Mr. Ryland Kaiser. Ryland, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. Official friend of the pod, now that I'm returning guest.
Yes, you've graduated to that status.
Fantastic.
I'm really happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Consider this a ceremony of sorts for
Great.
you.
Great. A coronation.
Yes, of course.
Wonderful.
Sorry, I don't have a crown, a scepter,
All right.
But maybe next time. Maybe next time. That's the third episode.
The third, yeah. Each appearance, I'll gradually gain more things to wear.
Yes.
Yes, that'll be great.
I love it. So how are things with you? It's been a few weeks.
Yes, fantastic. Got to watch, these two great movies that we're talking about today.
Yes.
Other than that, everything's been smooth. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just happy to have you back because you're one of my favorite guests, and you always offer very good criticism, and your love for film is really I admire that in you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So tonight we're going to be discussing two films that are based in the world of tennis.
Yes.
One film is out now in theaters. It is called Challengers, and it stars the great Zendaya, who I discovered through the Spider-Man films. I have not seen Euphoria yet.
Oh, okay.
But I am curious to see where she can take a dramatic part. In Challengers, she definitely shows a lot of range, a lot of intensity, not just on the court but off it. And in this movie, we have her in sort of a throuple. A throuple, yeah. Sort of she's in between two men, two fellow tennis players, and we really don't know who she's going to go after. She's married to one of them. Right. The other she hooked up with a number of years before. Right. They basically had sort of a threesome.
Kind of
a threesome.
Kind of a threesome.
And now she's kind of like battling that past, those memories, with her current emotions.
Yeah.
It's an interesting film. I was intrigued by the story, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it, which is, I really wanted to love it.
Yeah.
For me, it kind of fell right in the middle there, kind of an average film.
Yeah.
But Challengers, how was it for you? Was it a challenge for you?
No, not a challenge. I really enjoyed it. I think, Zendaya is wonderful. I loved the cinematography in the film as well. I think it's shot brilliantly. The music I liked. I found there were certain points where it was a little interesting, the choices that they made, where to cue it, where to do sort of the needle drop.
All right.
But overall, I would have to agree with, I feel the same way.
Okay.
I really wanted to love it, and I liked it.
Yeah.
But I think the expectation going into it, oh, I want to love this movie,
right?
Can always be a bit of a tight,
rope to
walk.
Yeah. Well, going into it, because these days there's not a lot of originality or interesting storytelling. Outside of like these huge epics or superhero films. Zendaya actually obviously was in the Spider-Man movies.
Right.
So I went into this thinking this would be like a grand epic tennis movie with constant matches, but it was, I think it leaned more towards the human drama, which I respected and appreciated. I just wish that they kind of upped it a bit. And I want to give a lot of credit to the two young men who are in her circle, her love circle, so to speak. Josh O'Connor, who's fantastic in this, and Mike Feist, I believe is it Feist or Feist?
Feist?
Let's go with Feist. There's an I in there, so I'm going to go with Feist. But I actually did recognize him from Spielberg's West Side Story.
Yes.
So, and he actually stole the show in that film.
I have not seen it yet.
I highly recommend.
Yeah,
excellent. Not as good as the original, but that's another episode. But he's great. O'Connor's great. And the three of them are really sexy throuple here.
They do a great job. Yeah. I love how the relationship you know, is focused on, and you can really see the dynamics between each three.
Yes.
And they're all unique in the way in which their characters are presented. You know, it doesn't feel. None of the characters feel samey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they all kind of bring something different to the table.
Right.
They all have kind of a different look physically.
Yeah.
The way they speak, everything is about them is different, which makes that was the interesting part. I'll give you that one for sure. Going back to Zendaya, you know, she is a megastar right now. She's extremely popular, not just from Spider-Man, but also with Dune.
Right.
I mentioned Euphoria. She's done a few other things as well.
Right.
I want to see more of her. I'm going to check out Euphoria, but I think I've spoken to you about her in the past. I think you have more experience with her filmography and stuff.
Yeah, I think too. You know, if I'm not mistaken, she started off on like a Disney Channel show.
Oh, okay.
And I remember, I'm blanking on the name of the song, but she had like a song that would play constantly on the radio. So Zendaya, to me growing up, was honestly more of like a pop singer, I felt.
Okay.
And so, you know, to see her act brilliantly and pretty much everything that I've seen her do, really just speaks to how much talent she has. She's a real force.
She's very talented here, and only 27. So I want to give her a lot of credit for that. That's amazing.
What am I doing?
Yeah, I know. You got to catch up.
Damn.
You know, maybe you'll be her husband in a movie in the future. I could see that.
I'd love to be in a movie with Zendaya.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I should have mentioned everybody. Ryland is actually a veteran actor. He's a great performer.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. You're very talented in that respect. Yeah,
that.
very good. So, and also, I wanted to also mention that Zendaya served as producer on the film.
Yes.
So, you know.
Is this her first credit as a producer? I don't know if she is a producer on Euphoria or not.
She was an executive producer on Malcolm and Marie. Which came out a couple years back. I think that was a black and white drama.
Her and John David Washington.
Yeah. That was decent, actually. She was pretty good. And then this, so just those two.
Just the two?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I believe she also has a production company, if I'm not mistaken.
I think she does.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, she's music, acting, producing.
Everything.
Like she's like really,
Yeah.
She's a diva in every a good sense of the word. Yeah, she's a businesswoman and she knows what she's doing. So I want to see more of what she can do. And but I'm going to definitely go back to Euphoria because that's been mentioned a few times to me.
Yeah, she's great. And I think what's interesting too is the film doesn't necessarily focus more or less on any of the three. You know, Zendaya, and then when you have Mike and Josh, who I thought Josh was fantastic as well. I had not seen him in anything prior to this.
Without giving too much away, and we all know this, no spoilers here.
No spoilers.
So Josh O'Connor's character, Patrick. He has a slight story arc where he's like basically kind of like a drifter, almost like homeless. I would love to see a movie just about that character and that journey.
That'd be interesting, right? To see, you know, kind of an inside Llewyn Davis, but with tennis.
Yeah. Or that's a good intro. That's weird. Yeah. Imagine a Coen Brothers tennis movie. Well, they did bowling. So,
yeah, they did.
That would be crazy. I would definitely watch that.
I do love how they filmed the tennis in this too.
Yeah.
I thought that was very creative. You could probably get very boring with filming it.
Yeah, if it's just back and forth, it's a little dull.
But he came up with so many creative shots. Luca came up with so many creative shots.
Yeah, I wanted to also mention, thank you for bringing that up. I'm going to butcher this name, but the director of the film, Luca Guadagnino. Oh man, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, Luca. If you're a very talented filmmaker, and I apologize for that. But let's just call him Luca G.
Yeah, Luca G.
Yeah. There are some really great shots here of like the perspective of the ball.
I love that.
And the tennis racket, kind of like a first-person thing. Yeah. And I believe that they created the ball through CGI.
Oh, yeah.
So in some shots, the ball like coming straight at the camera, that was CGI. That was computer generated.
I've seen the behind-the-scenes pictures of how they did those like under the court. There's like a
Oh yeah.
under the court.
Where it's like
shot.
see-through. Yeah. I love seeing that. Yeah.
That was so cool too.
Yeah. Definitely. So. Yeah, that's a very cool technique. I've seen it in a few things. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a unique. I don't know if there's a term for it. It's just very cool looking. Yeah. There's probably a term for it.
There's probably a term.
Yeah. Didn't come up in my research here. But yeah, the tennis scenes were cool. Yeah. They weren't just one-on-one, yada yada yada, back and forth. Right. They really got into it. And a couple weeks back, we reviewed a B movie on the show, yes. And they had similar shots in that too, though that was animation.
Right.
But same principle.
You think they lifted that shot from the inspiration?
I don't know. I mean, stranger things have happened.
Right.
So
maybe Luca was watching the B movie and thought, oh hey,
that would be a good.
I gotta get this tennis shot.
Good reference point there. But yeah, I also want to mention. So yeah, they could have gone the boring route with the one-on-one.
Right.
There's another tennis movie that did that. It was Battle of the Sexes, with with Steve Carell and Emma Stone. Mm-hmm. That's a great movie. That's a kind of a side note because of the one-on-one. But there have been a lot of great tennis movies out there, but there's one that I wanted to kind of discuss and kind of compare to challengers, mm-hmm. and that is 2017's Borg versus McEnroe. Mm-hmm. Which was based on the true story, the true rivalry of. So we have Bjorn Borg, who I believe he is Swedish. Thank you, and American John McEnroe, who is known for his explosive behavior on court. Right. Now McEnroe was played by Shia LaBeouf, who we both have a mutual admiration for. Yeah. Very talented. Yeah, he was. I think he was very well cast. Yeah, very appropriate in this. And we also have Severe Gudnason.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's my attempt.
He's fantastic.
Yes, and they focused more on him in this, actually.
They did. I saw that in Sweden, the movie is just called Borg.
Right.
So, which you probably could have done for. Yeah. You could have just done that for this as well.
Because this film does mostly focus on him.
Right, and his journey.
Yeah. So Borg versus McEnroe is kind of sort of a misleading title because it's more about Borg.
Right.
It leans towards him more.
I understand that they draw the comparisons between the two. It's interesting that they show that they play tennis in a very different way.
Right.
And yet, even though they highlight their differences, it shows their similarities at times throughout the film. Right. And that I really appreciated and always enjoyed. But I did feel as though, I was sitting there going, okay, it seems like just kind of the Borg story, which,
Yeah, I mean, not a very interesting character, figure in history. He was kind of a very quiet, very, he would do a lot of meditation.
Right.
Very, I don't know. Just not a very colorful character.
My mother said in the 70s she saw him play and was bored out of her mind. She's like, yeah, no, it was a boring day.
Was this the McEnroe match?
Or no, that was in Wimbledon.
Okay.
So, I don't know where my mother was.
So just boring to watch.
She's bored out of her mind.
Oh, well.
Sorry, Borg.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
I'm sure, yeah. He seemed to be doing just fine.
Yeah.
I think, it's interesting because I wasn't familiar with this story at all.
Yeah.
So going into it without any of the historical context, it was kind of spoiler-free.
I knew a little bit about it because I definitely knew of John McEnroe.
Right.
He actually had a very short-lived talk show in the early 2000s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went to a taping of it, and it was strange. It was everyone was expecting him to explode into a tantrum, but it was just kind of a very standard show. It didn't really go anywhere.
Was it like sports, tennis based, or was it?
No, I think he was just interviewing celebrities or something. Oh. Yeah, this was a long time ago. This had to have been at least 20 years ago.
Look that up.
Yeah, it was short-lived. I think Will Ferrell was his first guest too.
Really?
Yeah, it was strange. He was also in Mr. Deeds, the Adam Sandler comedy.
Oh, he had a cameo in that?
Yeah, he basically goes out drinking with Mr. Deeds, Sandler, and they throw eggs at a car and they're yelling at people. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But
do you think Shia really captures McEnroe?
I think he got the mannerisms down. He had the language was definitely down.
Yeah.
The profanities were flying all over the place. He didn't really look like him so much in the face.
Interesting.
But I know that Shia grew his hair out a little bit to kind of emulate that late 70s, early 80s hairstyle.
Yeah.
So, but I love Shia in pretty much everything he's done.
I thought he was great in this.
Yeah, they were great together.
They were. Both of them.
And even though they had a rivalry on court, I know that in recent times they've become friendly.
Yeah.
So
Real life.
since they retired, they've become basically buddies, and yeah.
I did want to mention too. I thought Stellan Skarsgård was fantastic.
Yes.
He was great, and I'm blanking on the actress's name who played Borg's wife.
Is it this
Tuva
Novotny?
Yes.
That's easier to pronounce.
Tuva, yeah, I was actually very impressed with her performance as well. Kind of an understated character, but she gave it a real presence. Stellan is
Stellan's
great
awesome
in everything.
I love him in Good Will Hunting.
Yep. And I don't think you've not seen the Dunes yet.
I saw the first Dune.
You saw the first Dune.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I did fall asleip because it's like a 2.5 hour long screensaver. So
I would say Dune 1. We're getting off of it, but I would say Dune 1, is a really good setup for Dune 2.
Okay. Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
And Stellan's in it too.
Stellan's in 2 as well.
I believe that the character that he played was this like floating.
Harkonnen.
This floating like villain guy.
Yeah.
Which was done really well in the David Lynch version.
I've not seen that version.
That I didn't fall asleep at actually. So, Borg versus McEnroe.
Yes.
Again, I wanted to love it. I thought it'd be interesting. I thought the chemistry would be very, very appropriate here. Especially Shia. He brings such a presence to all of his roles.
I thought, I would say, thinking about the two, I prefer how Challengers filmed the tennis matches. Borg and McEnroe, the tennis matches I found difficult to follow at times.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of cuts.
Okay.
Whereas in Challengers, not a whole lot of cuts. Wide angles and kind of zooms and pans. Where this at times felt very like we're here now.
Well, there is a similarity between both movies' tennis matches. There's like those slow motion moments.
Yeah.
I think the opening shot of Challengers was with one of them. I think it was Feist, and you see the drops of sweat coming.
It's real early.
That was good.
That's great.
If they incorporated more of that style and technique into the filmmaking, I think that we would have had a better film. It's just more dramatic. For some reason, sports movies have to incorporate slow motion. Right? It's like a thing.
You can see the
intensity.
Yeah.
The sweat is really coming at you in the camera.
If it's not falling in slow motion, it's not as intense.
Exactly.
You really gotta.
I think just to go on another tangent, some other sports movies that do that. One that I think Rudy, did that a little bit.
Oh, does Rudy?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
There was definitely some. Oh, it's a great film. And the score in that too is fantastic, by the way. But that's another story.
I'm curious to think. How did you feel about the score in Borg versus McEnroe? Because I thought it was interesting. The Borg scenes had sort of this like low kind of bass like hum to it.
Right.
Whereas McEnroe's scenes were like loud American.
Well, that because of each character.
Because of each character.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, like a theme or a motif for each character.
I was just curious as to how you felt about it.
Honestly, I don't really recall the music being that powerful. I don't, and it's sad because a lot of sports movies, like I mentioned, Rudy, have great scores. But this one in Challengers, I think the score just kind of in one ear out the other.
I did like the Challenger score.
Okay.
Well,
I know we've spoke before the show about the songs, the soundtrack.
Yes.
The lyrical songs.
Yes.
And how the placement is. It was a little kind of offbeat. It just didn't sync well.
Yeah. Sometimes I thought, oh, okay. Yeah. I guess maybe there were times where I would have preferred the score, and there were times where maybe I would have preferred, you know, a pop song.
Yeah.
I think it just sort of.
Yeah, they missed the mark there. The music supervisor kind of dropped the ball, I guess. That was inadvertent.
Look at
that. But if like Hans Zimmer were attached to Challengers, I would have seen it opening day.
It was, wasn't it Trent and Atticus, right?
Yeah,
Trent
yeah.
Reznor, Atticus Ross.
They are fantastic.
I think it was them.
They. Yep, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Yeah.
I think one of the first films that they scored was The Social Network.
Yeah, Social Network.
Which was fantastic.
Fantastic score. My favorite movie score, Swiss Army Man.
Okay.
And they did that as well.
Nice. That was an A24 release.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paul Dano.
That's a strange one.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But yeah, they did a good score with that one.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It's my favorite one, I think.
Okay, yeah. I have to, I know that they come from more of a, they were in a band or they were part of a.
Nine Inch Nails.
Nine Inch Nails, thank you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right? I think so.
Let's see.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails, yeah. I'm second guessing myself.
Industrial Rock, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was the name of the show.
Yeah, apparently. So I want to just switch gears a little bit. So, tennis movies obviously are very interesting. What are some other sports-related films that stand out for you?
Oh, wow. I think right off the bat, I'm thinking of Coach Carter.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson. I love that performance.
It's a basketball movie,
right?
right?
Remember the Titans.
Nice.
Fantastic as well.
And speaking of scores, Trevor Rabin did the score for Remember the Titans. And they used that music for when Obama won the presidency.
Oh, really?
As he was leaving the stage, they played that theme.
Huh.
It's just a very triumphant,
I didn't know that. Wow.
It's very, you get into the spirit of things, you know? And it was just very, very appropriate.
Yeah.
I think for me, another good sports movie, directed by the same guy who did Rudy, Hoosiers.
Oh, yeah.
Hoosiers is fantastic, yeah. That's just, it's like a sports film has to be, it's like a rule, it has to be like uplifting.
Right.
Right?
You gotta, well,
most of the time.
You know what? I actually think one of the first movies where I saw it and the quote unquote like good guy didn't win was Bring It On.
Okay.
The cheerleading movies.
Right, Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst and I think it's
Eliza Dushku.
Oh, I'm thinking of Gabrielle Union.
Oh yeah. They were like rivals.
Yeah.
And they did like way too many sequels to that.
I think they made like 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, all direct to DVD.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah.
I am curious. Have you ever played tennis?
I think in summer camp as a kid.
Yeah.
Very little. I don't remember being that good.
Yeah,
But I think now I'd be better. I'd be interested in pursuing that. I think there's a court right outside right now. No, I'm kidding. Imagine. That'd be fun.
I tried one time. I got to go to a free tennis class when I was younger. 2 of my friends had taken me to. I couldn't hit the ball.
Really?
Oh, yeah, no. I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Don't have the coordination for that.
I mean, I think the popular thing now is pickleball, right? That's like the fad, or was the fad.
Which I think is like a tennis.
It's like ping pong and tennis. Yeah, I think the court is on the floor or something. It's like a weird setup.
Clearly, neither of us have played this game.
Not yet. But yeah, sports on film, it's just a very, very inspirational thing.
What about like a pickleball Challengers?
Would that be the sequel or a prequel maybe?
The prequel? Oh, no, it could be the sequel.
Yeah. The Pickleball Challengers 2. The
Pickleball Boogaloo.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
That's awesome. But yeah, I'm going back to Zendaya because, she's a very talented young woman.
Fantastic.
And, the more I talk about the film, the more I'm like kind of interested in her work and what she has to offer. Her kind of trajectory reminds me a little bit of like Julia Roberts in a way.
Oh, interesting.
Just like a very like attractive young woman, leading woman, kind of building up her filmography.
Yeah.
It's not like Julia Roberts started in superhero movies.
Fair.
But she's definitely made a name for herself, and
Yeah.
Zendaya definitely has made a name for herself.
Right. And
So.
I love getting to see her in these grounded sort of roles.
Yeah.
Watching her sort of grapple with, you know, marriage and family and those types of things. I really enjoy getting to see. I'm trying to think of some of the other work that I've seen.
Yeah.
And The Greatest Showman. Yes.
Unfortunately, though, she was in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh, she was. That's right, Lola Bunny.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Which that movie is such a blast.
Really?
Really?
You liked it?
Such a good time with that.
I'm not judging, but I'm just giving my opinion. That was one of the worst movies of that year of 2021. Yes.
I think it depends on what you went there to see it for, maybe, you know?
I mean, I was expecting something more fun, like the original.
Like the original one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this just kind of fell flat. It was like the same formula. Didn't really offer anything new, except new cast members.
Yeah.
That's really
LeBron.
it. Yeah. But you know, she's been doing the blockbusters. Dune.
She's been great. I wonder what's next for her.
Yeah.
Because I know as of recording this today.
Yeah.
Euphoria season 3 has not been announced.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if the cast don't really seem to know. So I'm just curious to see what she's going to do next.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very curious to see what Mike and Josh are going to do as well.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with their performances.
They're both very, very talented, and
really
all three of them. They're
yeah.
just great. And Luca G, you know,
Luca G
he's
doing
a
a great
fantastic
job.
director.
I'd only seen Call Me By Your Name prior to this.
Okay.
His work. I had not seen what is it, Bones and All? In Bones and All?
Oh yeah, I wanted to touch on that too.
I think he did that.
That movie was so crazy.
Really?
You haven't seen it?
Have not.
Yeah, it's basically a love story between two cannibals.
Right. It's like Timothy Chalamet.
He's
a cannibal,
he's
right?
the love interest. I forget the girl's name, but there's some very, very graphic scenes.
Oh. Yeah.
Mark Rylance plays like a seasoned cannibal himself, who's kind of mentoring these two kids.
Interesting.
And
that's
yeah, it's out there.
That sounds
yeah.
Okay. Huh.
I think it may be A24, but
As well.
Yeah.
This one wasn't though.
No,
this
Challengers.
One was, MGM.
Yeah, this was just a standard, film with no ties to A24. It could have benefited maybe from the watchful eye of the programming department, the producers with that.
I think
company.
This got pushed back too, didn't it? Got
Yeah,
pushed back like a year.
Because of the writer's strike.
That's right. Yes.
That's why.
I was trying to remember.
No, the writers and I think the actors.
And the actors.
Yeah, the SAG-AFTRA.
They both just happened like back to back.
I know, not a good time, and now we're getting all these great films.
Right. So here they come.
Here they are. Finally.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, I didn't even. I've not seen Bones and All.
Bones and All, romantic horror. Yeah.
Romantic horror film. That's a first.
Yeah. And it worked. It was difficult to watch, but it worked.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to check it out.
So I think I would recommend Challengers to people.
Would,
but I would not recommend them to go see it in theaters. I would say this is a quintessential streamer.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Or like a nice cable watch.
Yeah.
So wait a year or two.
I liked seeing Challengers in theaters because there was an audience reaction to certain shots.
Yes, there were.
We
saw it together,
yeah,
and
we did see it together in theaters
at the Nighthawk. By the way,
Cinema?
the lovely Nighthawk Cinema.
Love the Nighthawk.
Love it.
But there were those moments, and I really enjoyed hearing the, in the crowd.
Right, especially in the love scenes.
Yeah, the love scenes.
The hooking up scenes.
Yeah.
As it were. But yeah, I would recommend it.
I recommend it as well.
Yes, and also same goes for Borg versus McEnroe.
I would recommend that if you were a fan of either of those competitors.
Or History of Tennis. Right.
But I think Challengers is probably the more accessible movie for audiences.
Even with the hooking up.
Yeah, because Borg and McEnroe has some colorful things in there as well.
Sure.
There's I think it was like the slow motion shower sequence.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know, it's to each their own, I guess.
And I just want to also mention quickly, we have a couple minutes. Both films kind of deal with, well, more so the case with Challengers, deal with like overt sexuality.
Yeah.
And you know, it could be a little disturbing for some viewers, but I thought it was tastefully done in Challengers.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I certainly didn't find it to be distasteful.
Yeah, it was handled very well.
I thought so.
But definitely not. What? Sorry.
I was gonna say Challengers actually was funnier than I expected it to be. Like I laughed more than I thought.
Especially Zendaya with her like deadpan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
she had some great lines.
She had some good ones.
Josh had some great like comebacks.
Yeah.
So
it was almost like a sitcom in a way.
At points. Yeah.
All right. Well, we recommend both films, so that's great. Right now, Borg versus McEnroe is streaming on one of the
Tubi.
Oh, Tubi. Thank you, sir.
Watch
Thank
it on
you.
Tubi?
There you go. With ads.
ads.
Yeah, unless I think if you upgrade on that, you can.
I don't know.
I think that's the case with.
Sorry, Tubi.
Yeah, sorry, Tubi. We love you, Tubi. Don't mind us. But yeah, so we have about a minute. Mr. Kaiser.
Yes.
Any plugs for you tonight? Anything you wanna? Any projects?
You can follow me on social media at Ryland Kaiser. That's my tag for all of them.
Okay,
So.
Lovely, very nice. And yeah, talented actor, good guy, all around, just a good dude.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Of course, man. So as for me, you can check out new episodes of Under the Radar on Slam Radio through SiriusXM every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And also you can catch the video version of Under the Radar on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, where we're at right now. Love this place. And also please feel free to subscribe to the Under the Radar YouTube channel. Subscribe and share. Share the love, guys. That's why we're here. Our love for movies is why we're here. So Ryland, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. I'm your host, Randy Younger. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.